Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. I am Diwakar. In this tutorial, we will be going through Kotlin constructors and Init. So let's start. A constructor is a concise way of initializing any class properties. It is a very special member function which is called at the time of class object instantiated or created. Every class needs to have constructor. Suppose if we do not declare constructor for any class, then compiler automatically generates the default constructor. In Kotlin, there are two types of constructors, primary constructor and secondary constructor. Primary constructor can only one, but secondary can be more than one. Primary constructor. It is a part of class header. It is surrounded by parentheses with optional parameters. If there are no annotation or visible modifiers in primary constructor, then constructor keyword can be omitted. Let's see an example. In main method, we are calling animal class with parameters animal type as string and animal age 3 as int. So then after that, we are printing these values from reference variable. So in this example, we can see how properties of class animal get declared at the time of object creation. Let's move forward. In Kotlin, we can also define the default values in Kotlin constructor if the programmer do not want to pass the values of properties, then it will overridden by default values. Let's see an example. In this example, we are not passing the values of animal age and declares the default value as 10 in the constructor. So its output will be animal type as cat and age as 10. There is one drawback that primary constructor cannot contain any code. So to write initialization code, we use initializer block with init keyword. Initializer block also executed at the time of object creation. It initializes the properties as well as can perform the code on it. For example, in this example, we are creating three different type of animal class object every time we are initializing the value of local variables of animal class and printing its values accordingly by the help of init block. Next is secondary constructor. In Kotlin, we can have more than one secondary constructors and it declares using prefix constructor keyword. It allows property initialization as well as logic input to the class. Secondary constructor always delegates the primary constructor even if the primary constructor has no parameters. It will delegate implicitly. And if it has parameters, then we use this keyword for passing the parameters to primary constructor. Secondary constructor also plays a major role at the time of inheritance, providing multiple constructors to initialize the class in different ways. Let's see some examples of secondary constructor. In first example, we are calling add class with parameters 2 and 5, which is simply adding both the values and printing the output. So it will print as add semicolon 7. In second example, we are calling same parameters 2 and 5, but this time we have primary constructor also in add class. So for that we have to pass the value of int type into that using this keyword. Let's see an example of inheritance. So for that we are going to the Android Studio. So I have already written the code for it. So in this code, we are calling class math with the data class A, and because of which it will call this constructor. And if you want to, in this class, we have made two constructors, two secondary constructor, one with the data of string only and other with the string and int. So if I'm calling only with the string, then it will call this constructor, and again it will call the second secondary constructor from here. So that's how we can call secondary constructor from each other. And if I want to call the second secondary constructor directly. So we can write the code like this. So it will call the secondary constructor directly. It will not pass the default static value. So when we call the constructor from here of class maths, so it is calling the super method for base class from where it is getting derived. So when we call the super method, it will call its constructor in which we are passing string and int. So when we pass the string and int over there, it will print the value as number of students and the data. So once we remove this code and run the program, it will print the value as math class A 50 students. So how it is printing it? Math class from here, and the data which we have passed class A, it will goes here, and the static value 50. So when we pass this values in this constructor, it will pass these values to the superclass, which is our subjects class. So when it will call this constructor, it will pass those values into here and print the data. So that's how we can call the same class in different manners. So that's all for today, guys. If you like this video, please like, share, and comment. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.